Let's talk about a much better fight. So the fight that went down a couple weeks ago in Matrix 4, your debut, um, you were fighting a tough guy from Semper Fi MMA, and I know like I hadn't heard a lot about you before the fight, but I knew that you were that you had some recognition in Golden Gloves, and I was expecting you to come out and go all hands. And in the beginning, you looked real comfortable on the feet, and you were definitely dominating on the feet. But then, did you jump the guard? Or like I know you ended up like in the guard pretty quick, and we were all pretty surprised. We were like, oh, we thought this kid was going to stay on his feet. What was the game plan going in? Were you looking to because you've only been training jiu-jitsu how long?
Since I was 4.
Well, you've been doing jiu-jitsu with Tiger Showman?
With Tiger Showman, everybody's like, oh, Tiger Showman's is karate. They're like McDojo. They're like every corner is a dojo. No, it's not even like that. Tiger Showman's, they did have their fair share of forms and like katas and different things. But since I was 4 till the time I left, they always showed me MMA. They always showed me jiu-jitsu. What they never really called it jiu-jitsu, it was submission grappling and kickboxing. It changed up a little bit, but their curriculum pretty much stayed the same. Like they showed me all the stuff that I know from jiu-jitsu was pretty much from them at first, and the kickboxing was from them at first. Then Anthony Galliano, he modified me within a couple months, really changed me up into fight mode, like got me really ready for that fight.
And specifically in regards to jiu-jitsu, like did your game change a lot from training at training here versus the jiu-jitsu you were doing at Tiger Showman's?
I see a change. At Tiger Showman's, that's like the difference was you can only go so hard with certain people, and there's only, like the class is broken up a little bit with people that don't really want to fight, and you're going to go to gyms and 99% of the people there, like 99.9 of those people do not want to fight.
Yeah.
Like you got to be absolutely crazy. Even if they say they want to fight, no, they don't want to fight. They want to get their hand raised. They want the crowd cheering their name. They don't want to fight. They don't want to get in there and get hit. Like honestly, you're crazy if you want to fight. You got to be nuts. But since I've been with Anthony, I can't even explain it. Well, when I was with Tiger Showman's, I won the advance for kids, and I did a lot of like submission grappling tournaments, and they good. Since I've been with Anthony, I haven't lost any submission grappling tournaments at all. I won the expert divisions, and then the guy at Semper Fi.
Wow. And so when you come out for this fight, like what is your game plan to go to the ground, or did you want to mix things up? Like did you know about the guy you were fighting, or did you just concentrate on what you wanted to forcing your will?
I mean, I knew a little bit about him just from what I heard, but you can't always go with what you hear. You gotta
because he only had, I think, like one fight before, right?
Right, and
so there wasn't a whole lot to go on anyway.
They say you got to prepare for the worst and expect the best. And Anthony tells me every day I get in that gym. And Anthony, like, strictly always tells me, he's like, I don't care who you're fighting. He's like, Albert got his last guy, not the one that just fought, but the one before that, 2 days before his fight. He's like, how do you know you're not going to fight somebody 21 right before the fight? He's like, you don't know what they're going to do. He's like, I don't know what they're going to do.
Very true, especially these fights, like the cards get shuffled all the time.
All the time for amateur. So I never really know what's going to happen. I can't just work one thing and then this guy comes in being like, say I worked just my jiu-jitsu because this guy like was horrible like on the ground but great standing up. All right, well what if they just put me with like a freaking jiu-jitsu champ?
Yeah.
Like they switch it up, put me with jiu-jitsu champ, and I wasn't working my stand-up. Then what? And I'm just like in a bad position.
So you come out not with any specific direction you want to take the fight. You're just looking to play off of him. We worked
everything. We worked punching from different angles, moving around. We were in the gym, me and Anthony. I can't just say me. It wasn't just me because Anthony was in there, freaking. I know he was going home swamped, like so tired. He was in there every day with me, pretty much eating, sleeping, drinking, training. That's all we did was train for those couple weeks. Every day, that's what we did. And I know he was going home tired because all he did was spend time with me and train.
Were you going home like dead?
I was going home freaking like passing out. Like I couldn't breathe. I was dead. But for that fight, what we worked on was like I remember specifically he told me before the fight like different people were going up to me, Hob, do this, Hob, do that. He's like, all right. He took me like face to face and was like, listen to me. He's like, I'm your coach. I want you to listen to me, hear one voice. I want you to pick them apart. If you see something, you take it. If you don't, let it go all the way to the third round, whatever. He's like, it's your first fight. Feel comfortable. Just stick your jabs, stick your cross. If it gets to the floor, just go nice and smooth. Just feel things out. Don't throw yourself out. Because, like, a lot of my boxing fights, I'll go in there. Like I said, I'm like a little fireball. Like, I have some videos of me kickboxing. And I'll throw, like, in the first round, I'm throwing, like, 100 punches. Just going. And then I'll be like this by the end of the round. Like, in the third round, I'll be like, geez, I can't lift my hands up. Like, my arms are just dead. And then, like, you don't want that to happen, because if you got a good striker, or you got someone that's good on the ground, then what's going to happen? You're going to get knocked out, because you can't keep your hands up. So he's like, just pick them apart, see what you can find. So, like, I mean, like, for real, when I went in there, everything kind of goes quiet. All you really hear is your coach's voice. But right before the fight, I did hear the whole crowd yelling. I looked at my girlfriend, I looked at my mom. Probably the happiest moment of my life, just seeing my entire family there. And I was just like, I just had to point at them, get them riled up. And then, like, I turn around, see my opponent, and I was just like, oh, man. I was like, it's either hit or be hit. Like, it's like I got to do something. And then I just remember pretty much the light going down. Like, it was just me and him touching gloves. And I was just like, all right, well, what do I do now? It's like, I don't know. You kind of shut down, and your instinct just takes over. You're just like, okay, this is what I trained for. 1, 2. And then I just threw a knee. Mm-hmm. And what happened was, like, I think on Facebook I posted the one of the videos, but it wasn't too good.
Yeah, I saw that video.
I saw another video, and, like, it was at a different angle. And a lot of people thought I pulled guard. What happened was, it was like a 1-1-2, and then like an uppercut, and then I kneed really hard, right to the stomach. I don't know if it hurt him. I don't know what happened. But I know he came to my legs. And I really didn't try and stuff the takedown, because I know a lot of people were like, all right, his ground's really good. And I was like, okay, I'm comfortable standing. I was like, let me see how comfortable I'll be on my ground. Maybe I can work something. If not, it's the first round. I'll just get him second and third if I can. I was like, just let me feel this out a little bit. And like me, I mean, this will be a little secret. I love my back. Yeah. Don't ever put me on my back, because I love it. Don't
tell anybody.
But, I mean, I love other spots, but my back is just my base for everything. I love it. Mm-hmm. Once he just put me on my back, I mean, Frank's an awesome guy. After the fight, we shook hands, we were talking. I was like, if you ever want a rematch, anything.
That's
like,
Frank
Doyle,
Fight
from Semper Fi.
Frank Doyle.
Yeah, him and his coach, great guys, great team. I just remember once that knee came, I didn't really jump up. I didn't pull guard, because I didn't go underneath. I didn't fish hook. I didn't sprawl out. He kind of just, like, it wasn't really like a double. He kind of just fell to my legs, and I kind of fell down with him and ended up in guard. Mm-hmm. And from there, he kind of, like, tried to do different things. He stood up at one point, and I was just like, oh, man. I was like, let me see. I got to, like, stay on him. I got to keep my hips open, just swing back and forth and see if I can keep him in my guard. Then he would come back down, and I just kept grabbing his wrist, because you don't want him hitting, scoring points to your chest. And then me, I love the triangle. It's just my thing. I just love the triangle. So I kept going for it, and I was like, all right, that's your instinct. I was like, but you got to use your instincts to also find other things. I was like, stop looking for this one thing and just look for something else. I was like, you know you ain't getting a triangle, because he had my leg wrapped, and he was strong. The kid was, like, you look at me and you look at him, and he just looked big.
Yeah.
Like,
he had a lot of bulk.
He had a lot of power on him. So, I mean, he had me pretty good on my leg. And then I just kind of went and shifted to a certain way and threw this leg over, and I'm just like, oh, I got an Omo. He gets out of it. So I was like, wait a minute. It's like, let me try this again. Got the Omo. He almost jumped out. Went and turned my arm and blocked it. And then, funny thing is, like you said, you know what I'm saying? You keep, like, doing so much repetition. We were in there day in, day out. Every single day we were in the gym. A couple days before, Anthony shows me this one thing, and we worked on it over and over again. And then that one thing happened to just be a normal problem.
Wow.
And the funny thing is, he's like, what he told me is, you don't just push forward, you kind of turn back with it. And if you watch it, I grab his arm, and I'm just like, it's not really working, so I grabbed the head and then turned back, and that's when it really was on there.
You're talking about at the end when you're finishing it off, when you're trying to torque his shoulder.
Yeah, I turned this way.
Okay, and that would be in towards him?
Like his arm was right here. I had the head and the arm, and I turned back that way.
Okay.
And his arm, like I could feel it. Like it was really tight. It was like, you know, you just catch people. Like I'm telling you, the guy was really good. He was an awesome guy. Still, like I still thank him for taking the fight. Thank his coach for taking the fight. Like whole team, awesome guys. Strong, tough component. You know.
And it was, and like you could tell that he was a strong guy when he was in your guard. But that fight, I mean, that whole sequence that you just described, that lasted what, like a minute 30? Is that how long the fight lasted?
155.
155.
I actually watched the video, the good version of the video, and it's like you hear the right at like the last 10 seconds, and I'm just like, oh crap, there's 10 seconds left. I better do something, and I just go.